experience.
Hello, I'm Ingrid Willinge and warm welcome to Media Week. Ahead on the program today, Netflix disappoints the market with its latest subscriber numbers, plus what this year's InStyle Man of Style Awards means for Pacific Magazine's publisher Jackie Frank will be joining us with all the details a little later in the program. But first, we know that mobile and video advertising is growing exponentially, and now another data point to prove it. The latest IAB PwC online advertising expenditure report shows that online advertising segments are experiencing double-digit growth, led predominantly by general display and classifieds. Well, for more, we're joined by Alice Manners, Chief Executive at IAB. Alice, good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
It's good to be back with another positive story.
Yeah, well, tell us a bit about, first up, before you tell us the story, just tell us a bit about IAB and the survey that you did for viewers who might not know.
Okay, so the IAB is the Interactive Advertising Bureau with the Peak Trade Association for everything around interactive advertising, and we work with PwC as our third-party auditor to track interactive ad spend across Australia.
So tell us about the online ad segments, because experiencing double-digit growth, what really drove that?
Look, it's been a beautiful story for the past 10 years. We've had double-digit growth continuing. Now we've reached that point of 5.3 billion. Historic numbers, it's nice to see that continuing growth. But what's really good is to look at it in terms of the context of the total ad pie, and we are the largest segment at the moment. The key areas within it, what we do is we break it up into display, which is your beautiful rich media ads and your banners. Then we have classifieds, and then we have search. Within that, a huge growth is coming from the display area, and our two continuing stars are mobile and video.
So it's a very fast pace of growth in general display in this survey. So what exactly drove the fast pace?
The fast pace is coming from mobile. So mobile, if we look at the total online ad spend, is 5.3 billion for the last financial year. 1.1 billion of that is mobile. And that really comes down to consumer usage. So if you look at digital screens, mobile now and smartphones are the highest used. And it's really diverse in terms of what consumers are doing. So they're spending about 33 hours a month. And then if you break that down within that, we've got 3 out of 4 who are doing online banking. We've got 70% who are purchasing online. We've got music, and then we've got video at 70% in terms of watching video on the mobile. So mobile is driving that, and then you also have the video piece. Video is off a smaller base, but 100% year-on-year growth, which is huge. And what is interesting with that is seeing that the traditional TV marketers are now moving their spend onto online video.
I mean, this probably doesn't come as a massive surprise, though, in terms of what you would have been expecting from the survey, right?
No, I mean, we've seen this. The last time you and I sat down, we had very similar results. I think what is really important to see is that it's that continuing growth, and it's a continuing strong growth. And what that shows is that, you know, marketers are really seeing that engagement and that return on engaging with consumers with interactive advertising.
Yeah, so it backs the story up more and more. The growth of search and directories, you mentioned, softened. What was behind that?
Well, I mean, search and directories was always such a big piece of it. And I think now it's really coming into that holistic play. So if you look at the display piece, having mobile and video and them being the drivers, but search and directories is still at 47% of that, general display at around 33%, and then classifieds at 19%. If we look at it globally in terms of the US and the UK, they're slightly stronger in the search and directories. Where I think we're slightly different, which is wonderful, is around classifieds. We have really strong classifieds versus US or UK.
And why do you think that is?
I think that comes down to some of our really strong Australian publishers. When you look at car sales and when you look at REA, and those segments that are strong in Australia are around finance, and this is historically finance, auto, and then it comes down to retail and the other segments. Whereas if you look at the US and UK, it's around entertainment, very much at number one, and then retail, etc.
Right, and this brings me into video advertising, because obviously we were talking about that earlier, being a big growth area. The dominant industry categories in that video advertising, are they sort of similar industry groups?
They are. And what's really nice is to see that consistency that's happening. That's very unique to the Australian market, but they will continue year on year, all over the past several years, to have that growth.
Now, online, you were mentioning, online obviously getting a bigger piece of the pie, which obviously you'd like to see. Where is it stealing all the market share from?
Well, market share, CISA haven't come out with their figures, but at the moment what we have seen from CISA, we're at 41% share, which is the largest piece. And that is from, if you look at the last financial year, online was 36%, TV was at 31%. So it's grown in share. We'll have those figures relatively soon. But it's not about, and it is and it isn't, it's not always about just being the biggest and the best. I think it's more important to look at how far this medium has come in such a very small period of time, how marketers are seeing the opportunity and are continuing to invest in it. And now I think for us as a medium, it's about where do we go next? And it is the maturity piece and how we work with those other mediums.
So what are the challenges going forward for you guys?
There are a few challenges. We're moving away from CPMs to viewability, so ensuring that marketers are paying only for ads that are viewed. We have global challenges such as consumers introducing ad blockers. Now, there's been a lot of talk around ad blockers, and rightly so, but from a digital perspective, it's very much, you know, something of today as a result of technology, and it's really making consumers aware of the fact that the internet is entirely ad funded, the benefits of that to them, but also then pushing back on publishers and making sure that they have a beautiful website which isn't cluttered with ads so that consumers are enjoying that experience.
And I guess going forward, the role of interactive advertising in the marketing mix, you're expecting that to just continue to increase?
It will. I mean, the key piece for us is looking at cross-media measurement, which is challenging. We've just gotten to the point where we released mobile measurement. So for us from a digital, we've gone desktop, mobile, video. Now it's important, and viewability's played a part in this, to be able to then look at it, how it integrates with TV and the other pieces, just to maintain that consistency and enable the marketer to be able to measure across all mediums.
Alice Manners, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us on Media Week today.
Thank you very much.